Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of August the 29th, 2019. The current character challenge is Arkham Knight Catwoman. That's a 1 week repeat, and the required characters are Green Lantern, Nightwing, and Joker, who are bronze, and silver. So this is a great example of a challenge that's great for incoming players.
Very accessible.
Her passive is Cat and Mouse, which states that Catwoman's damage over time attacks cannot be rinsed by tagging out. The damage over time becomes more powerful with each Arkham Knight character on her team.
Yeah. She's got, it feels funny saying they're middling stats. They're pretty good, though, compared to a lot of others. But for the late game kind of challenge golds, it's, maybe sort of upper middle class,
Yeah, so 1,300 attack, 1,000 health to start.
Yeah. She's probably in my mind, she's the single best damage over time specialist because of her passive with the inability to rinse. And we just made a quick playlist of a couple of the videos that we'll link here in the description and in the eye and top right corner of just how good she is.
And because of the second part of her passive, her obvious teammates are Arkham.
Yes. And
And obvious gear is Quake Engine for that extra damage over time, and anything for power generation to get her specials to, again, get to that damage over time.
Right, and it's funny how the game's changed a little bit. At one point, it was really fun to have like an all damage over time team. But if anything, because of this week's multiplayer reward, which we'll get to, it's definitely not as effective. And it means that she's even better as a damage over time specialist because she improves with other Arkham characters and not other damage over time specialists.
So she actually improves by variety on the team, and you have to, if you're using her to maximal effect, you have to build a balanced team otherwise.
Right.
Yeah, so talking about this week's multiplayer reward, that's Blackest Night Flash, and his passive is Black Flash, which is when resurrected, Blackest Night Flash returns with 100% health. Basic attacks against the Flash have a 10% chance to miss and leave the attacker open to counterattack. And then finally, instead of taking damage, all Blackest Night teammates gain health and power from enemy damage over time. And so that's, obviously the part that makes Catwoman a little lame when faced up against her.
Right. I mean, all right, so, yeah, because can you imagine that you can't rinse the heal? So Blackest Night Flash has got really high stats, 1,500 damage, 1,300 health. This, I believe, is his third season. So after this week, we should be seeing some legit Elite 7 and maybe even Elite 8 if there's a breakthrough event that includes the Flash.
Yeah, and there are 3 elements to his passive, and all of them are pretty much good enough for a gold card, although maybe the 10%...
each of them?
Yeah, each of them. Sorry. Yeah, because all of them just mean that it's good enough for a gold card. Each of them, with the exception of maybe the 10% chance to miss, it's not spectacular, but basic attacks happen enough that it's pretty reliable to happen sometime in a fight.
Let me point out, though, so whiffing on basic attacks is nothing new. I think some gears have that ability where you miss, but all those other gears, even though you take no damage, it actually connects like it's part of a combo.
Yeah.
So with the passive, 10% is low, but you get a relatively large window, hit them back after they whiff, and they're sort of half stunned.
That's true.
So the lower percentage makes up for that, and you're not even just limited to a basic attack. You can do an unblock special.
That's true. Okay, that's fair enough.
And so the first part, actually, that we didn't get to, all right, so the Resurrected. So resurrections that you can typically get, say, with fourth wheel gear set, Necron's Scythe, and because he's Blackest Night Hawkgirl, you only get a portion of the health back, 31%, 65%, or 20%, respectively. So with the right setup, which is 2 fourth wheel gears, Necron's Scythe, and Blackest Night Hawkgirl as a teammate, he could potentially resurrect with full health 3 times.
That's true.
That's pretty spectacular. I mean, you would have done it anyways, but what you're adding to health is what, 70 plus 35, 105 plus 80?
That's better hidden health numbers than Containment Suit Doomsday.
Oh, yeah. That's like an extra 185% health because of his passive if you're going to lean into the Resurrect part of his passive.
And that's on top of what the Resurrects would have already given him, right? When you're saying an extra 185%?
Yeah, of health. So that's crazy, right? So we've talked about 2 parts of his passive that are just really good by themselves. And then the third part is even better and is what is making Blackest Night teams maybe a little bit unbalanced, is that to me, it would be good enough just to be immune from damage over time.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Flash and teammates gain health and power from damage over time means that if you've got somebody who does that, like in our team, it's going to be Flashpoint Aquaman, or Injustice 2 Aquaman in our Justice League team. In this week's Arkham Knight Catwoman, you're really putting yourself at a big disadvantage where they're getting healing and getting ready to whack you with a special.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate only because damage over time teams aren't that common, and they are sort of fun, and this makes it a little hard to play with them.
Yeah, and they're not even that powerful.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is taking a team that is, you do it for the giggles.
Yeah.
And then you end up not being able to do it anymore, or just losing if you run into a Blackest Flash.
They've sort of kneecapped the damage over time characters, unfortunately, with this one. But he's still very good, and he's fun to play with, and a good tool to have in your arsenal.
Well, I guess, I mean, if he's that powerful.
Yeah.
It's more just that facing him is a pain in the butt.
In the store, we have Arkham Knight Harley Quinn, which is for $11.99 Canadian. It's $1 cheaper than last week's pack. It's not worth it. It's one copy. They don't unlock in your store. This is a little better because you don't sort of have to buy the credits also bundled into it.
Right. That would double the price.
Yeah, and you can just get the character. So it's probably a clue for next week's challenge. And, you know, even if you don't have it already, next week's challenge is going to be your best opportunity to actually get the card, unlock it in your store, and then, you know, grind for extra copies. So the $12 is probably not worth your money.
Right. So what's more interesting, or just not good but interesting in the story, is the Ultimate Bundle Villains and Monsters, which is $135 Canadian. It includes 10 baddies. So you got Arkham Origins Bane, Kandak Black Adam, Arkham Knight Catwoman, who's there this week, Apocalypse Darkseid, Suicide Squad Deadshot, Flashpoint Deathstroke, Blackest Night Doomsday, Red Lantern Hal Jordan, Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, and Suicide Squad the Joker Unhinged. What's funky is that 3 are typically multiplayer rewards, the rest are challenge cards, and 1 is the current challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it matters, it's just taking a look at the breakdown is normally getting a bunch of multiplayer cards makes it a better deal compared to, say, a challenge character, right?
But there's so much you have to purchase here. I think the problem with this is that there are definitely some of these that are wants, right?
Yes.
And this would almost be sort of a more compelling buy, right? If these are all split up, it would still be way more expensive, but an online multiplayer definitely has value, and way more value than sort of anything else in the game, because there's a limited sort of trickle no matter how good you are, right? And the amount of time spent playing multiplayer per card is probably more than any other reward-based stuff like challenge characters or...
Right, it's the biggest time investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just unfortunate because it's so much money that there's no way, right?
Yeah.
It's just not an amount of money that I'm willing to spend on this game.
If you break it down individually, I think those would be the best values, those particular challenge characters, especially Flashpoint Deathstroke.
Yeah, and it's only $135 for 10 characters, so that's actually not a bad per character price.
Yeah, just you don't want all of them.
In Survivor, we have the 4th World Gear set until the 4th of September, 2019.
Yeah, Phantom Zone, we got 1 more week remaining. Fight 62 is still broken. And there is bonus XP over this Labor Day weekend, so this would be a good time to push any of your your broken through characters up to 60.
That's true, and speaking of, we're keeping a sort of running list of all the characters that have gotten their first breakthroughs now, that we've gotten into the new breakthroughs in the gold cards. So far we've seen Raven, Killer Croc, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, Doomsday, and now Sinestro.
Yeah, there was 1 week in there where there's nobody new, but the last weekend was Sinestro. So we still got a few more. We're still waiting on Static and Cyborg and Nightwing. But we'll see.
You know, it's looking good that everybody's in here this time. Seems likely.
Right.
Moving on to the current glitches, just remember that every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We are Android only, so we're only able to confirm these glitches for Android. And a quick spoiler alert, right at the top, nothing has changed this week in terms of glitches.
Yeah, alright, so let's start with the significant not working glitches. Although when you say right at the top, it's funny because our top is now, almost 10 minutes.
That's true, at the top of the glitch discussion.
So there's no working glitch for credits that we're willing to endorse. If you want a more in-depth discussion, we'll link to a previous P and Q and C and A and T video, Season 6, Episode 9, where we discuss the glitch that people have been using where
Yeah.
you need to be logged into the same account simultaneously with 2 devices, which is too much risk for getting your account suspended.
Yeah.
The glitch for getting repeated past multiplayer season rewards is not working. The glitch for getting early season rewards is not working in a way that you can control, although people have been complaining in the forums that it's happening to them inadvertently, and they're getting screwed out of a season that they actually want the prize.
And they don't get to place high enough in before they accidentally have it happen to them.
Right. And there's no glitch to get through Phantom Zone quickly.
Now, we can get to the working glitches. The glitch that lets you play Phantom Zone repeatedly is still working. As we mentioned in the glitch video, its greatest value is probably avoiding the 50 nth medal that it costs for the 2 replays that you normally get, just because it takes so much time to play through completely 3 times on elite level. But, if you have enough time, it is still good to get you extra plays.
And I should point out that we've got an article up on our Patreon talking about a strategy for getting through the elite tasks the fastest and how to prioritize and which ones are the best, and a good strategy for when to re-roll and when not to.
Yeah, which might become a video depending.
Yes.
The challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is working. That's confirmed on the current Arkham Knight Catwoman challenge. And just a reminder, the challenge reset and the Phantom Zone reset are basically the same glitch. So if you're doing one, you're doing the other. So be careful and be aware and make sure that you're willing to reset progress on both simultaneously if you're resetting progress on either.
The breakthrough glitch lets you play it repeatedly, still working. We've never had trouble, but one viewer has a potential solution that we've cut and pasted into the description, and we can't confirm whether it works because we just haven't even run a situation where we could apply the solution.
Yeah. The airplane mode / refund glitch is still working. That's good for both packs with random drops and last laugh tickets. It does not work in the Phantom Zone for us because that requires an online connection. Seems like some people can reset it on iOS, but we have not been able to replicate that on Android.
Right. Okay. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. Always bring your countdown clock back to normal before you're finished with it. Free energy without having to watch the video still works, which you can see every once in a while in our weekly Q&A background video. But we've cut and pasted one iOS user's potential solution into the description to try to ungray it to bring it back. That's Dragons952. We can't test it, so we can't confirm whether it works or not.
And in between the not working and the working glitches, in the sort of twilight zone of glitches, we have the promotion glitch where you can promote characters that are still locked. Hasn't had the right conditions since update 2.14, so it's not testable, it's not usable, but it technically hasn't failed us yet. And we are nothing if not a little bit anal about technicalities here on this channel. So we're leaving it in, and it's going to stay here for the foreseeable future. Until either the heat death of the universe or this channel ends or the conditions are met, whichever one comes first. And I'm going to hazard a guess and say that it's not the heat death of the universe, but we'll see. Only one way to find out.
So, and that's it for this week. We'll wrap it up with a reminder that we have a Patreon. If you want to support us with more than just reviews, you can click on our avatar at the bottom right corner at the end of the video.
Yeah. I have purchased some things on PayPal with it. I think it paid for my bus fare recently. So if you want a little, if you want a little sneak peek into where your money's going, it's getting me home, and then to places that aren't my home. It's getting me from point A to point B. So thank you.
So a huge thank you to the people who are already supporting us. Console Peasant, who's supporting us at the top tier, Last Word. John Ariama supporting us at the Your Message Here tier. Sean Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Mull, and Michael DeVries, who are supporting us on the credited level. And Eddie G and Chris Wolf at the gratitude level.
Thanks so much for your support. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.